football today. Pretty good control of the clock, and then we needed something we came up with at some critical times. So happy about that. Defensively, certainly not happy about the statistics and giving up as much yardage on the ground as we did, but a lot of credit to our opponent and especially that running back. He is a very special player, and it was just a very impressive performance. And be a little easier to appreciate if I was a spectator, but guy's a hell of a football player. And then to come up with a couple takeaways there at the end was just huge. Obviously, very, very, both of them were timely and really good. And then last thing is just our special teams. I thought they really did a great job and impacted the game in a really positive way for us. And that's important in any game, but in this kind of weather, you can't take anything for granted, whether it's fielding a punt. And Cooper did a good job there. And obviously, down in the punt there, on the other end of it. And Torrey came up with two big punts there to give our guys good field position defensively. And Drew Stevens continues to play really well as a kicker. So, just a lot of positive things there. And you add it all up, it was just a really good team win for us. And happy to leave town here with the victory. I'll throw it out for questions.
When we look back at this game and however many years, it might be called like the Jack Campbell game because when you were bending, he comes up with forces a fumble and then comes up with a pick six minus the six. What do you think of?
That's what our guy said too.
to have a player who's already an elite player make elite plays in a big game in a big moment, what does he mean to this program, and what does this mean to just to have him do that?
Yeah, to win a game like this and to have a good season, you need your best guys playing their best, and Jack shows up every week and does that. It's interesting. You got two guys opposite each other that were really exceptional football players, great college football players, and I've never met their guy. I just watching him, you just see the impact he has on their team. He's a really, I'm guessing, a really strong leader. The guy's a heck of a competitor, so just nothing but a ton of respect for him. And say the same thing about Jack. Jack, obviously, we all know intimately in our program, and can't say enough about him. Just the way he plays, his resiliency, just his positive nature, everything about him is just first class. So, and then comes up with big plays, which is it was great to see.
4 weeks ago, things weren't looking great when you're 3-4 after that Ohio State loss. How have you seen this team stay resilient?
Yeah, that's where I'm thinking about. Just and again, I've said it before. It starts in the locker room with the guys, guys like Jack. Not only our seniors, but the guys that have played and have some experience and understand the bigger picture. And we just tried to encourage them. Back then, it's a 12-week schedule, 12-game schedule. Just like today was a 60-minute game. So you just keep playing, keep working, and the whole thing's all about showing up and doing your best and trying to improve and showing growth. And I think our team's done that. But it doesn't happen without those guys being a core, the core guys really kind of driving the thing forward.
You have an update on Sam Laporta?
No, I mean, he had to come out, obviously, and we'll probably know more here tomorrow, next couple of days. So, it was enough to keep him out, and he couldn't go back in. The same thing with Monty. So that made it tougher because that's, those are two of our top guys offensively, great leaders and really good football players.
On that, how would you describe Luke Lachey's performance, having career day, then Addison Ostrenga stepping in and playing a lot of snaps for the first time?
Yeah, it's twofold there. Like, Luke we've seen, and he's done a lot of good things on the field this year, even last year. So, he's just been a kid who's continually growing, just like I said a minute ago about, you're hoping guys improve and grow. And he's done that, and he's a great young guy. So just a really positive football player. It's a luxury, and you got two guys like, him and Sam. And then, Addison, thought we knew we'd get, but, you never know until you get into this is a tough Big Ten football game in November. And he went out there and really performed like he's been doing and like he's done in practice. A little bit of surprise in August, probably. It's sometimes, you get guys and, you think, this guy's got a chance to be a good player. But then you get on the field and you're like, maybe not. It might take a little longer. And then sometimes it's the other way around. And, tell you, everything he's done since August has just been really positive, kind of like Caleb, Johnson, just like, hey, this guy really gets it. The tempo doesn't seem to affect him. And, we just kind of seen him. But, you still a little bit anxious when he goes into Big Ten conference play in tough circumstances, and he did a great job.
Two game-changing plays like Jack Campbell made late in the game. And things weren't going particularly well on either Minnesota Drive.
Really bad. Yeah.
Yeah, where does that come from? I mean, that's more than athleticism, right?
Oh, it is. Yeah, and it just, it's just staying with it, just staying with it, and easier said than done. It's just easier said than done because you guys saw the game. That's no fun out there when you can't stop the run, and boy, you get in games like that, and it's painful. It's and nobody feels worse than the guys on the field because they're playing hard and doing everything they can. You think you got him shut off, and then next thing he's knifing it back for either a 3-yard gain or a 13-yard gain, and it really makes it hard. So, but the guys kept playing; they hung in there, and then Jack came up with a couple of big plays.
Was the timeout there right before the field goal? Was that a timing thing, or what was the
Yeah, it was an interesting sequence, and I won't get into too great a detail. I thought we had it under control. The plan was to take it down to 1 second. I'm still trying to figure out why it got reviewed. I thought they were reviewing silly me. I thought hey, maybe they're going to give us a first down here, which would have been nice. And I guess they're reviewing to see if the ball was a fumble or not. So I won't get into that discussion. Same thing about the possible touchdown Jack had. But I was told the whistle blew on that one. I thought the whistle blew on the other one too. But anyway, so everything got screwed up, and we had to end up taking the time out prematurely just because I was worried we were going to snap the ball and go. So anyway.
The division title on Friday. Do you talk about that a lot, or is it just implied that everybody knows and that's in the back of your heads?
I haven't said a word about it to our team. And I know our guys know it because, it was brought up to them on Tuesday by members outside. And I think everybody's probably talking about it, I'm guessing. So I assume our guys know what's going on. But, the message last week, none of it's going to matter if we didn't get to 7 this week. So that was our goal. And to win our 4th game of this, since coming out of Columbus. So that's really where our focus was now. Shapes up to be a, significant game that way. But, if you're, you're always hoping to play for something in November, but, you never know what it's going to be. And, I'm guessing I don't know anything about gambling. I guess if you put $10 on us 4 weeks ago, you'd probably be okay. I'm not advocating that, but just, it probably would have been a good deal. Have a hard time finding any takers on that one. But anyway, so, now that's the way it is. But, we had no control over what else was going to go on today other than what we could do. And that was our encouragement. Just, let's focus on what's in front of us. And that's what exactly what we need to do this next 5 days too.
Petrus probably has been as criticized by players, under your tenure.
For his whole career, yeah.
Yeah, but now, I guess how fitting is it that, he's been in front of the media and talked to us week after week, kind of keeps that same poised attitude, but for him to stay with it, now to be able to potentially close out senior day for a Big Ten West Division title. I mean, I guess from your perspective, how can you just kind of, it just seems sort of fitting.
Yeah, I guess I'm always a silver lining guy, but in some sick way, okay, what he's going through the last 3 years will really benefit him for his entire life, I think. And, I'm not sure the scrutiny's always been fair, but, it doesn't matter what I think. So all I know is, we started out 0-2 a couple of years ago, and he led us to 6 wins. He was a big part of us winning 10 last year, and, here we are right now, and, with a opportunity to do something pretty cool. So I think it says a lot about him, and then more importantly, it's just how he's handled it. Because you can only imagine it's been tough on you guys. Not all of you have kids, but if you've had kids or have kids, or you can imagine it's a tough spotlight. But that's part of playing quarterback too. And he's handled it really well, I think, with tremendous class, and hopefully, he'll step back at some point and think, hey, boy, I did a good job handling all this, and kept playing. And I thought he played well today.
Since you kind of reevaluated.
Yeah, he will start next week, yes. Is that what you're going to ask?
You kind of reevaluated quarterback after Ohio State, and
Yeah.
would you say he's played his best football? I mean, no interceptions in those 4 games.
Yeah, for us, that's critical. That's where, for us, it's critical. And that's just kind of how we're built and how we're wired. And I think we know who we are. So, yeah, a lot of credit to him on that. And, our protection last 4 weeks, last week was not a great day, but the 2 previous and today, I think we showed some improvement there. So, it gives him a chance to set his feet and throw the football. He's not a great runner by any stretch, and he knows that, and we know that. And most teams we play know that, but he's led us to victory, which is the number 1 criteria for a quarterback in my mind.
And any
You
level.
bring up, sometimes bring up the past on a lot of different things. And this one just seems to have somewhat of a parallel to '04 with, kind of what happened early. I mean, different
Yep.
shades of the season. But even getting to this game against this specific opponent, where that game, I think you're outrushed like 337-6. And then Chad Greenway makes a big play. They miss a
Yep.
field goal, win by 2. This time you have.
Chad
the
Knife through the cut underneath and made
Yeah.
the play on the slant.
Right. And
It
then
was a
you
hell of a
have,
play.
and then,
Which only Chad Chad was the only guy could have pulled that off. Everybody else, that would have been bad.
I don't even know if Jack did.
Yeah.
But then you look at today, kind of the same.
Yeah, Jack
thing.
might have made it. I'll take that one. But yeah,
You have a running back run for whatever,
Right.
60 yards or whatever. Is that just a coincidence, or is it? I mean, because the mindset's the same in 2004 and
Yeah.
2022.
if you hang around long enough, like there are some repeating themes, and yeah, there's no question. I even go back. Dave Brown sent me a text this morning, and I made mention of that. We won our last game in '82 to go to 7-4, coincidentally, and then beat Tennessee in the Peach Bowl. And I may have said this last week. That was as gratifying, I think, for most of us, players and coaches in '82, to win that as it was to go to the Rose Bowl. It was just the season you could really feel good about because of the way the players handled things. We started out pretty poorly that year, 0-2, and it was a really ugly 0-2. So, yeah, and there are some parallels this team and maybe the '04. But you find a way to win. That's what it's all about. And yeah, guys may come up with big plays, big efforts, and that's what it takes to win games like this. So just really proud of our guys being resilient, and nobody's really worried too much about who we are, what we look like. We're just trying to get the job done.
What were your thoughts on no penalties in this game? And have you ever been in a part of a game at any level that
Not
didn't
even
have any-
close. Yeah, not even close. And I didn't know until I was just told on the radio there, and I guess it's since 1986 that's happened. So it just shows you how unusual it is. It's really, really rare, really weird. And but now in retrospect, yeah, it makes sense. There weren't any real stoppages for that. We had a couple reviews, but not the penalties. So it's great. And then it's part of playing clean football. Protecting the football and not getting dumb penalties. And we had a couple an errant snap today, and then one that was missed. So those were not good, obviously, and those aren't penalties, and they're not turnovers, fortunately. But it's still, it's things we have to do to clean up. You just can't. It's hard to overcome that stuff.
between the offensive line last week and this week? What's
Yeah.
been the key to that sudden improvement?
It's just, again, it's you stay with it, and I think it started 3 weeks ago, but took a step back last week, but the guys went back to work, and that's proud of those guys, because you worry about them. You worry about what are they thinking, where are they at. But a real credit to them. They practiced well this week, and then went out and competed today, and we're going to have to do the same thing here next Friday. It'll be the same story, but it's, I think, always good to have the guys feel like they can gain a little confidence from a performance. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Looking back at your tight end room, position coach Abdul Hodge, defensive guy coaching offense for the first time. You have experienced players, freshmen, transfers. How would you just describe the job that he's done throughout this entire season and how that kind of manifested today, losing Sam and
Yeah.
still having good production?
Well, I mean, first of all, we were really excited to have Abdul come back and join our staff, and just excited about, it's kind of like we were talking about with Addison, right? You think but with Abdul, we're pretty sure it's just going to be a matter of time. But where I'm going on this, since he's been with us, however many months it's been now, even better than I thought, and I had high expectations. First of all, he's just a quality human being, and secondly, he's a coach. Like he's really serious about this, and boy, he's invested, works hard. In some ways, it's helpful because he's got that defensive perspective in an offensive room. And I mean, believe it or not, there's a time where I was more defensive oriented. As small and slow as I was, quote unquote, my position coach. But anyway, it's sometimes that perspective helps you a little bit. But Abdul's just like, he's a guy that just wants to learn. Got great relationships with his players. He's respected. So it's great. And I think they're all having fun together, actually. And it's a good group with Pop Bomb and Laporte. I know you got two veteran guys, but it's been a cooperative effort, and it's all good. So yeah, happy for him, and great to have him on the staff. He and Chip Lee back with us, and AJ Jr. So it's awesome. Okay, thank you.